Hey Jeff,
Hello, Lou. I
oh,
missed you.
I know it's been 3 weeks since our last one.
Has it been three? I thought it
Three
was
weeks.
two.
We skipped two, so it's been three.
Yeah,
So we've got, of
lots
course.
happened in 3 weeks.
Oh yeah, we're going to talk about all that. Man, it hasn't been good for most of us. There's one guy it's been good for.
I don't know what else I can do. I think at this point it's just sell the farm.
Well, I am starting to think about setting up for next year. I mean, I don't have to do it yet, but in the next month, there's probably some things I should do. So
Yeah, it's like I tried to grow a garden and the baseball garden sprayed Roundup all over it. It's like fuck.
I think our trade deadline is like August 24th. It's the latest one that I could choose.
I
So
like that.
yeah,
Gives
I
me
still
time to
sort of
think.
I still sort of like to have a deadline. I mean, I thought about not even having a deadline, but I think that the deadline, well, theoretically, would create some sort of urgency, right? But sometimes it doesn't really. But I don't know.
No,
But
I
let's
don't know. It just really depends on how much you want to deconstruct your team. You know, I didn't do too bad last year. It was in the middle of the pack or some shit.
well, it's kind of like the
Um,
same theory is like when they say call in the next 2 minutes and you'll receive a second set, all this, it's like if you feel like, well, I could make that trade later, I could just before the end of the year, and maybe you never do, So I figure like the deadline is a good thing, but some years it kind of comes and goes without much happening anyway. So I don't know.
it's just weird. They changed the rules and it really fucked up the whole energy of it all. I mean, some guys can't pitch fast. It's fucking them up. Some guys, the whole box thing and being in the box at a certain time, that screws up their rhythm and shit. They got the shift that changed there, like some things, but fuck, I mean, it's like it's Schwarber this year, and granted, he's hitting a lot of home runs. He's batting like 190 something. And that was one guy I thought the shift would, help.
I think I think a
And it
lot of
did the
people thought
exact
that.
opposite. He can't hit anywhere. He
I
just
think a lot of
he's
people
just
thought that,
going for home runs and he's striking out. And
but
he's
it's
getting
true.
some
If
walks.
you're not making contact, the shift isn't going to matter.
Right, exactly. It's just like fuck.
If you hit homers or strike out, the shift won't affect you.
There's guys I thought that would be super big ballers this year that just did not fucking do it.
But Corey
And
Seager was one that they had pointed to would benefit, and he's having a good year. So
yeah.
when he's been healthy, he's been kicking ass.
Hey, should we bring Paul in?
Yes, let's do it.
All right.
Let's get to all
If
the
he's at his
badness.
let's see if he's at his computer. Let's see if he's in the dark.
He's on staycation this week, I guess.
Vacation. He's not
Yeah,
working this week?
so he might not cut us off so early.
He is outside, but he's got some
Hey,
backlighting.
Yeah,
Oh, yes, that's good.
yeah,
We'll let you know when we stop seeing you.
that's all right. I
might
don't
not
have I
happen
don't have
now.
I don't have 2 hours tonight. I just have about an hour at the most.
Okay.
Been off work for the last 5 days. I gotta get ready to go back tomorrow. So,
Oh, you're going back tomorrow. I was
yeah.
wondering. I told Diane that this one will probably be a quick one because Paul has to wake up so early. But I was like, but he's on staycation this week, so
No,
maybe.
that ends. It ends at midnight tonight.
Oh boy.
So you know what that means? It means you have to blow right through the stats.
All right. All right. Let's get to the badness. Let's get to all the badness here. Let's see.
Are you feeling good about your team, Paul?
I was not so much. No, I think I made a pretty good trade with Phil recently for Scherzer. I got rid of Scherzer for some for Houston's catcher and Cincinnati's second baseman, shortstop. Can't remember the guy's name off the top of my head now.
Yeah.
Are
You had
they are
a
they are they prospects? You mean
No, they're on the roster.
on
you had
Houston? You
a
said
Yeah, I gotta look at the.
who was it? Was it on Houston? You said catcher and second baseman.
Yeah, it's like who's Houston's catcher?
Maldonado,
No, not Maldonado, the other guy.
Christian Vasquez?
Yeah,
No, he's on Minnesota, I think.
Is he? Yeah, he is on Minnesota. Who is the other fucking Houston catcher?
Why? I think maybe. Yeah.
You don't know who's on your team, Paul?
Not off the top of my head, no. I got two teams. These are
Hey,
two guys, right?
sorry about
I just don't
Trout.
remember, man. I don't have the best short-term memory, Jeff. You know that. Here, let me look. I'll tell you.
You still have Trout in, in the
Look,
outfield?
Stroud. I haven't got rid of him. Yainer Diaz.
Oh,
okay.
yeah, yeah.
I got him from. I got Christian Javier, the Diaz guy,
Oh, yeah, the pitcher. Okay.
and then Matt McClain was the other guy I picked up.
You
Oh,
know what?
nice.
That's a good deal. I like that.
Or
McLean
Scherzer,
kid.
one other guy that he's already dropped, so I don't.
Oh, Matt McLean was dropped?
No. Whoever else I traded to Phil. Whoever else he went from my roster. He
Oh,
wasn't-
gotcha.
So that Diaz guy, he's playing DH a lot then?
He's DHs a lot, yeah.
Yeah,
But he
yeah,
catches. So.
yeah. All right. Well, I'll try not to spend forever on this, but 5 weeks ago, I'll just use my team as an example, but we can all relate. I was one game out 4.5 weeks ago, but in that time I went like 13 or 14, or something like slightly below 500, and Sats went 25-2.
Yeah, this is getting ridiculous.
So you can see like let's see if I can get over there. Last 5 is 25-2. Now normally like sombreros have made a move. They're 21-7, which would be normally would be pretty noteworthy. That's 750 ball, but
yeah,
that's just gone 25-2. So.
that's crazy.
He had such a rough start that it just evened everything out.
But so that's what we're looking at. I think I put in the notes in the email today that you can break the teams up into 3 groups, right? Divided by 12 games back. So in group 1, it's just Satch.
Yeah, right.
In the next group, there's 6 teams.
Yeah,
Right.
that's the halves.
And then the next group that are more than 24 out, there's 4 teams. So there's like
And
1,
that's the
6,
have-nots.
4. So it's not 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. It's 1, 6, 4.
Right. I'm just hanging again at 500. But I go 2-1 less.
Basically, what you're playing for now is second, third, and fourth.
Yeah, Paulzadi went 2-1. Yeah, coming out of the break, it was Spear and McBride's went 3-0.
Right. What's it? Where is his innings at now? It's got to be
Yeah.
like 170 or something, right?
And we'll see. Like before I go over there, it was such a tight grouping down here. Like once again, Hack and Cows. I mean, just not very good luck there because you can see like a 2. That was a 2-2. But this is really tight here in the whole grouping was pretty tight because it was only 3 games. It was half a week. But so I went 1-2, and I was actually sort of happy because I was like, geez, I might go 0-3. I only finished about 6 points out of an 0-3. So
Yeah,
so
I was right behind you on that one. I pulled out a little bit more points than a few other guys on Sunday, and I saved myself a win. Now I'm 2 games up on I think a game and a half or
game
2
and a
games
half.
up
Yeah,
on.
that's right. Well, you can see the Buddha Kings is capital knockers, and Paulzadi's still lucky laggards. Although this number's come down more than 2 wins since the height. So you've had some, your share of not such good luck. Recently.
Yeah, you're right.
And the games played over, just Spear's still going strong, and McBride's are still way under. Knockers are right in the middle, and then innings pitched, McBride's are 181 over. And Let's Play has the least innings in the league, and they're still 34.
Yeah, that's a lot. Have you ever had all teams at that high over pitching at this stage of the
year? I don't think so.
But that's going to play right into PG and Dr. Satchel's hands because, okay, everybody's not going to be having pitchers in the last week of the month.
Wow.
And so it's like, okay, it just depends on your hitters. At that point, he's got great hitters.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how it plays out next year with there'll be a higher overage, and we won't. I guarantee you that we won't have this next year. So I think that.
Oh no, you will.
It'll be hard.
The people are going to just take advantage. It's going to push it farther. That's all it's going to do.
I'll take you up on that one. So as far as lucky BABIP hitting points, knockers are the new leaders.
Yeah, guess what?
And then daddies are still on the unlucky side.
Oh, it just keeps getting worse and worse.
And then lucky pitching, Gaggers are on top still, and Satch is way under. So this is disheartening too, because this represents about 3 wins. If they had a normal pitching BABIP, they might theoretically have 3 more wins than they have. So that's scary too. So predicted top 4 is see Sombreros is 4th. I think that's not new, but if it's new, it should have been in red. But and you see players of the week, Sombreros Henry Davis as the catching player of the week, but I don't know if he's caught any games yet. So hopefully, for his sake, he gets 5 games in before the end of the year, because otherwise he won't qualify catcher next year. 5 games started, which is usually the same as games, right? For catchers, I mean, right? Usually those guys just sit the whole game. And he's got C.J. Abrams as a middle infielder player of the week. So Sombreros are looking better, and Devin Williams is the relief pitcher. So
yeah, he had a good week with those guys.
Sombreros are making a move.
Yeah. His young guys are starting to come up, and he's starting to get some play from those guys.
See Charlie Morton here for Let's Play, starting pitcher player of the week. And last week he had another, who the heck was it? Another older pitcher for him. I can't remember who it was.
Rich Hill.
Who? No, it wasn't Hill. It wasn't Hill. Can't think.
He's another older pitcher. That's all.
Oh, actually, it'll be. I have that. I have the past couple of weeks since we didn't have the podcast. I have the players of the week over here. We'll look at that. McBride's had Kyle Bradish as a top starting pitcher, and they had Chas McCormick, but they just picked him up today, so they didn't have him in last week. But last week, or not last week, 3 weeks ago, you told Sean that Crow Armstrong was Sheryl Crow and Lance Armstrong's kid. Well, Chas McCormick, I think, is Maureen McCormick from Brady Bunch's kid.
No.
Actually, that's a false rumor too. I like spreading false rumors.
I thought he was like the heir to the McCormick fucking spice brand.
I don't even know how that they spelled it.
And isn't CJ's dad the one that designed that tank?
Was it?
I said, isn't CJ's dad the one that designed that tank?
Oh, I don't know. So this is your military experience, right?
Well, if we're making shit up.
And then Devers for Satch, who's he kind of dropped off for a while. I don't know if he wasn't hurt, right? But he kind of dropped off the leaderboards, and he's right up there now. So as if Paging.
That's the thing, though. You have to. That's the one thing about Schwarber with me. It's like, even though he hits a lot of home runs, he can't hit the fucking average for shit. He always usually has a pretty good second half. Am I wrong about that?
I think the Phillies are looking good. I think they'll hold on for a wild card.
Does it sound like I'm trying to pump somebody up to offer me a trade?
Sure. You're using reverse psychology. No.
It would be reverse psychology if I didn't give myself away.
So this is the players of the week that we missed when we were off here.
No, see, I've never had anybody. And no All-Stars.
Sorry.
But this was players of the week from 2 weeks ago. See, Devin Williams was on there 2 weeks ago as well as this week.
Right now, he's probably the best relief pitcher in the league for the last couple of weeks.
And I put Ronald Acuna, but that should be Acuna. So I'm going to correct that, even though I'm just going to delete all this soon.
Look at that, man! This is live.
So, so 2 weeks ago, Jake Rogers was player of the week at catcher, and he was on waivers then. I don't know where he is now. And Let's Play at Shohei. Cow had Betts. And then Sombreros had Acuna and Devin Williams. Jordan Montgomery for Hack, and Spencer Strider, player of the week, 2 weeks ago for Satch. And then last
week, Strider.
So the week that ended right before the All-Star break started, we had Wilson Contreras for the dads, and Machado for play, and also Musgrove. That's who I was thinking of. So Let's Play had Joe Musgrove and then Charlie Morton as players of the week.
Look at that. I've got one guy in the last 3 weeks that made players of the week.
Hey, I got none.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
Neither does, hey, you know what?
Paulzadi's got none.
Neither is Paul.
Right.
Well, at least I got one. Now here I am. I'm pitching, and you guys are. I'm the best one in here right now for the last 3 weeks go as far as players of the week.
So 2 weeks
Jesus
ago,
Christ, man, these guys when it rains it pours. What the fuck?
2 weeks ago, McBride's had Lindor. Cows had Betts. So that's 2 weeks in a row that Betts did it. I didn't even mention that in the notes.
It looks like Sombreros. Sombreros probably had the most, like 5.
Yeah, well, they had 3 last week.
2 that week.
Yeah.
Nothing the week before, but Let's Play had 4.
Knockers had Logan Gilbert. So, not every pitcher is going to pitch bad for the Knockers. Although his problem is relievers, you said, right? That's the one.
Yeah.
And then Joel
Satchel only had 2.
Piamps for the Knockers.
Yeah.
I don't even know what team Piamps is on. Do you?
Amps.
Where is he?
I have no idea.
Do you know?
I think he might be Tampa.
Tampa, yeah.
No idea.
They have that 10 closer committee there, right? Although they've been using what's the guy? They've been using it. Closer Monkey was actually thinking of knocking the asterisk off the closer position because the Rays always like do it by committee. But what's the guy's name? Oh my god. Fuck. Fairbanks, right? Is it Fairbanks? Anyways.
Yeah, I think didn't he get hurt? Fairbanks? Oh, he did.
I'm not sure. But anyway, so that's Players of the Week last 2 weeks that we missed the podcast. And this is just the normal week here.
We're out of practice for Rusty right now.
So since we have Paul on, we'll look at the rates and ranks and we'll just focus on Paulzadi.
Oh, paging Dr. Satchel's 1 across the board on his fucking hitting.
Paulzadi's hitting is bad.
Yeah.
And their pitching is pretty good. So
I'm right behind you, Paul. I got worse pitching. My pitching has been shit this year. I thought I had a great pitching staff. Fuck no.
It is really bad. I never looked at this page before, Luke. Yes.
Knockers are getting it bad with the pitching. And so is me and the Knockers have the worst pitching in the league.
Yeah, Knockers.
We're going through the same shit. Except it's my starters and his relievers.
Yeah, Knockers is almost kind of the opposite of Paulzadi, right? They're right next to each other in standings, but Paulzadi is bad hitting, decent pitching, and Knockers have a decent offense and bad pitching. So,
Lou, I gotta hand it to you. Where you're at on your pitching with how much you spent on it, holy shit, that's awesome.
Yeah, well, you can see I'm probably over a game lucky on my BABIP with the pitching, so that helps.
Call it luck, call it whatever you want. Still.
All right, so we'll do a shortened segment of this. Hopefully, see, we're only like 20 minutes or so. So this is the predicted final standings. You can see that Satch is predicted to win by almost 20 games. And this number keeps increasing, each week. So we'll see. We're at about 60.
What's the record for wins in the season?
Yeah, 60. We're at 63% correlation. So that means that like almost 2/3 of the prediction is going to be based on what's happened. And then the other third is just even, like everybody's even. So
what's the best record of all time?
Yeah, well, I mean, what's the best win-loss record of all time?
Oh God, it was way up there. I can't. Oh, I've got the history tab. One thing I wanted to point out is that the last place, which is sort of interesting, last place is predicted between 61, 62 wins, and the best last place team in beer league history, the most wins for a last place team was 63 wins by Dave Stagger. By Dave Stagger like 20 years ago. So we have a chance to break that record. It would have been a lot easier to do if we didn't have one team that was doing so well. If the top team was doing more like what I'm doing, then we would probably break that record, and we still might.
Right.
So
Thatch is throwing everything off.
Well, you can see predicted win-loss record the rest of the year. It likes sombreros, it'd be 8 games above. Of course, Satch is number 1 going forward even, so that lead will increase. But it's interesting. Some of these teams that are having that have some overages, Spears predicted to be under 500 the rest of the year. McBride's is actually predicted to have the worst record the rest of the year.
Really?
Of course, that's based on
180 innings pitched.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but if they manage that deftly, who knows? But so that's just what this says. It doesn't, it's not.
The Knockers and Paul going 28 and 38 on the way out.
Yeah, so it has Paul 10 games under. So you can see which teams it likes. It likes the Cows, even though the Cows are down here. It predicts them that they'll be above 500 the rest of the year and finish in 8th. And I guess what are they, 9th now? So that's not a big climb, I guess. But it predicts Paulzadi will finish 6th, and Paulzadi's in 7th right now. So it's interesting. Like Paulzadi, it doesn't love Paulzadi the rest of the way, but this team's right above him, right above them. I don't know how you want to think of it.
I'll move up in the standings, but move down in winning percentage. All right.
Yeah, you're gonna move up in the standings, but there's Baked and Spear supposedly are going to drop. So I guess that's where that comes from. Well, I guess that's enough.
And I'm still going to be under 500 for the rest of the year.
That's enough for this, right?
Fucking Christ. Not if I make the right trade. Throw me your offers, but don't make it stupid.
Just to connect on what I was saying, I'm going to pull this history spreadsheet up really fast. Well, somewhat fast. But I don't know. I thought that was sort of interesting that we have a chance to have the here it is. Steiger in 2003 finished last with a 63-91 record. And that's the most wins ever for a last place team. So we have a chance.
That was back in 2003, though.
Yeah.
That's fucking a long
20
time
years
ago. That was before I was in the league.
The most wins was what? Norm and Doug? I remember Doug had. Maybe Doug had it by half.
Well, Norm's got 114.
Where is it? Doug had a really good year. Here it is, 113.41.
No, Norm had 114
Yeah, Norm's
over here.
better. So I guess it's Norm that had the best percentage of all time, unless it happened in the 90s. Let me see.
The 2 years I won, I got 100, 105. Those are big years.
15 and 40. That's 96.
Yeah, so it looks like Norm's 114 was the most we ever had, right? Am I missing one?
Yeah, 114 and 39. That's fucking crazy.
So here's the thing I've mentioned a bunch of times that so Doug, this is his 27th year. I think this is okay, that's 32 seasons, and this is our 33rd. So this is Doug's 28th year, and he's never finished last. So you can see Norm, this is his 27th year, and he's never finished last. And then Phil and John Kimmler haven't, but they've been in it a lot less. All right. All good?
Yeah. Well, I only finished last one time.
All right.
How about the All-Star game? What'd you guys think? What'd you guys think of the home run derby? What'd you think of the way the game went?
I watched the last inning. That's about it. The greatest thing about the All-Star game for me is that growing up, a little kid, is seeing all the different uniforms on the field.
Yeah, and they took that away from us.
It's not even worth watching it, in my opinion. So,
that's what Bob Costas said. He said they should have the separate uniforms because that's like when you're like 11 years old and like
that was like it attracted me. Yeah, and I missed that. I was
you're a Rockies fan. You got one All-Star in there. I mean,
should we start a petition to get back to that with Major League Baseball?
I'm sure there is petitions out there.
Well, hey man, you work in the law firm. You look that shit up for us, and we'll sign it.
Costas alluded to the fact that they're doing it because there's revenue from the uniforms. I guess like they're selling those uniforms, the jerseys and stuff. But that's pretty minor, right?
Yeah, that's probably why they do it, so they can sell another jersey.
Yeah,
or Major League Baseball gets to keep that money, and the fucking teams are out.
But they got to think of the kid in 1978 who's watching the All-Star game, and there's one Mets All-Star. Like I want to see the Mets uniform.
That's what I'm saying.
Much better back then, though.
I think there should be an All-Star game where these guys have to play in uniforms from the 1975. And just do it that way. You know, it's like make them find their own uniform and do it retro.
Retro, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be cool as shit.
Get the old Phillies pajamas, the all maroon look.
Well, I'm not talking about going
Rookie
back to
socks.
like the fucking 40s or the 30s or 20s or whatever when it looks like they're running in goddamn sweatpants.
Everyone's
But
wearing those toolbox hats back in the mid
The
70s.
Pirates?
Look, the Pirates and the Phillies have them, the Cardinals had them.
you know what though? Those 70 Phillies that
76, I think they had.
the 70s Pirates those 70s Pirates hats were dope.
Yeah, those are great.
Fucking like look like a pot on their head
Yeah,
with like rings going around it.
yeah.
Then they put those stars on there whenever they did something good. Oh, the days. That was a Kent Colby, John Candelario. Wasn't he a wasn't he a pitcher
Oh yeah,
for the Pirates?
lefty.
He had
Like
Stargell and Lee Lacy and
Omar Marino,
yeah, Omar Marino.
Bill Madlock,
Frank Tavares.
George
Wade,
Orta, was he on that team? Or no, Dave
Bill
Parker,
Gardner,
definitely. Oh, the times.
that was good.
So Paul, you're on staycation this week until
Until
today's the last day.
I have to go back to work tomorrow. But
Yeah.
that's did,
You
did a bunch of-
having your shindig in a couple of weeks?
Yes, we're having a little party here on the 12th.
Yeah, tomorrow.
Is that a
I'm
Friday?
driving-
It's on Saturday, August
Saturday?
12th.
13th, you said it was?
The
12th?
12th?
12th. I'm driving Diane and CJ and Henry up to the airport tomorrow. They're flying up to Chicago. They're going to stay for a little over a week. And Sam and I are going to stay here. So I'm not coming out.
Oh.
But we're going to go see the Mets and White Sox on Thursday.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that should be a shit show.
It's a day game versus the White Sox. You wouldn't believe how cheap the tickets were to get.
Oh, God.
Those are two teams that are almost identical.
I'm a cheapie with tickets, but I went ahead and splurged and got the 300 level. It's like the mezzanine level. I don't know what they call it.
Yeah.
That's where you can get into the special bar up there and stuff like that. But I made sure they're in the shade because there's no way I'm sitting in the sun. But I was looking at upper deck tickets, and I could get tickets for $6.
No shit.
Yeah.
It's gotten that bad, huh?
I'm going to a game this year. I don't think I will. I think this is the year I won't go to a single game.
But I'm kind of happy that we're seeing the White Sox. That's why I went. So it's like when I saw it was the White Sox, I was like, because that's kind of like our second team. That was Sam's first favorite team. Was when we were living in Illinois, he was a little White Sox dude. The Mark Burley and that kind of stuff. But
So you get to see both teams play each other.
yeah, both of our loser teams. We can watch them play. The difference is that the White Sox top payroll guy is about 18 million, right? The Mets have two guys at 43. So I guess on the dumb scale, the Mets have got the Sox beat, believe it or not.
Oh, they just threw stupid money at two aging fucking pitchers.
But, except for being a Mets fan, there's a lot of really good stuff going on in baseball this year that I like.
What is going on with Brett Beatty? Can you tell me that? You get to watch it more than I do.
He's not doing much. And then he dropped that pop up, but
Yeah, that thing hit him right in the fucking grill.
yeah. But
At least he paid for it.
what the Reds and the Orioles are doing is
Yeah.
Even if you're not a fan of those teams, how can you not like that? Of course I'm going to be rooting for the Orioles. The amount of players that they have coming up is just insane.
Oh my God. They're all coming up right now.
They even I have a guy in my NA squad, Kobe Mayo. His name is he's a third baseman, so I don't know where they're going to put all these guys, but
they still have Heston Kjerstad down there, and he's like a #1 overall pick, wasn't he?
Who?
Heston Kjerstad?
Yeah, that's another one. Yeah, so they're
waiting on him.
They're incredibly stacked. Maybe Mayo would be the kind of guy that would go be on the move at the deadline to get a pitcher. I don't know what they could get. Packaging with somebody, but in the Reds, I was looking at the Reds. We know all the guys that they have up already, but they also have that Noelve Marte guy they got from the Mariners and the Castillo deal, and they also have Cam Collier. These are top prospects too. Cam Collier, I only noticed him because he's Lou Collier's kid, if you remember that name.
Oh yeah, I remember him.
Lou Collier is from Illinois, and he went to Kishwaukee College. That's the same community college that I went to, got my associates after I bombed out of Syracuse. I went to Syracuse twice, and the second time it didn't end well. So I had to go to community college to get my GPA back up so I could transfer to a 4-year school again. But so I went to Kishwaukee College in Malta, Illinois, and Lou Collier went there too. So he didn't get drafted out of high school, I guess. So he went for 1 year there, and so he was there like when I was there. He was there in '91. But anyways, the Reds have two more guys that I can name right there that are good prospects too, and so they're stacked. The only thing I worry about the Reds is like I'm not really a big Ashcraft, and even that other guy who's done well, that Anderson. I'm not sure that those guys are going to be good, and Lodolo and Green are definitely good.
You know what though?
I don't know if they're going to stay healthy. And
Cincinnati's going to be a buyer. They're going to be in. I think they'll be in the hunt for Giolito. They could be coming after Stroman. They're going to add an arm to that starting lineup because right now they've got the hitting, and I think they feel like they've got lightning in a bottle right now, and this is their year. So I think Cincinnati goes in hard.
I think
they got so much money they can spend,
but I hope they don't
paying shit to anybody.
I hope they don't ruin what they have though going forward, because I don't know.
What's going to end up happening is they might have to part with Encarnacion Strand, and that would be a hard one to part with because he's like a first baseman that's a badass.
But yeah, I can see them adding,
especially at the plate.
I think
in first right now. Cincinnati up in first right now.
Yeah, they're hot.
They got swept by the Brewers. They're in second. Yeah. They're like 2 games.
Oh no shit.
Yeah.
All right, I wasn't paying attention over the last weekend.
I was
just putting in my lineup, and I had a lot of shit going on.
I really think they should have waited before they extended Green, because I think if they had to do it again, there's plenty of guys they could extend that aren't pitchers that throw so hard and have already, been on the IL. I hope that one doesn't bite them in the ass. I mean, I don't know. I don't have any, special feelings to the Reds, but I'm just like, it's just fun to see a team that was so bad.
Yeah, we're getting into trade season right now, so this is going to be like very interesting to see what happens in the next couple of weeks. There should be I would imagine after next week there should be trades will start picking up like greatly, if not by this weekend.
Cubs selling?
What's that?
Cubs selling? You think?
I think no. They're going to be somebody that's going to try to get a hold of somebody before anybody else can get their hands on them. So I think like you're going to start to see some trades starting to pop through this weekend.
For Chicago Cubs?
Anybody throughout the league. I mean, it's like you're going to start to see them. They're going to start popping up like popcorn.
They should keep Belly, though, don't you think?
Well, they got Crow Armstrong in the minor leagues.
Yeah, that's true. I mean,
and he's about ready, man. I mean, he's getting close. So
you don't know how much he's going to hit, though. He could be a real mediocre hitter,
Well, he hasn't shown it so far in the minor leagues, but Bellinger is very valuable right now.
Yeah, I guess I don't know. I don't know what the right thing to do is. I mean, I was thinking that they should keep Stroman because they're going to need to have a pitching staff, next year too.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize how much he was already making.
Yeah. They've got some prospects. They can turn into a young team. They can turn into what the Reds are right now. In maybe 2 years.
I looked at, you pulled it up last time we were on, the minor league stats, and I noticed Alcantara, who used to be on my NA squad.
Yeah, Kevin Alcantara.
He doesn't even have a 300 OBP in the minors. You can't call that guy up. I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe he does better in the majors, but that's doubtful, right? I mean,
yeah, we'll see. I keep up hope, but who goddamn knows, man? I thought Kevin Orie was going to be the shit.
How about the White Sox?
The White Sox. You know what? I think Tim Anderson quit on that team And I think it's just like rolled downhill. Luis Roberts having a good year. He's going to play his ass off regardless. You got Eloy that keeps getting hurt. Your best fucking home run hitters was Jake Berger for a little bit, but even his average is way down. You know, he's a strikeout or home run guy, more of a DH than anything else. Where the fuck has Yohan Moncada been? You know, it's a mess. You
The
know
thing
what?
is,
I think the biggest thing they fucked up is getting rid of that first baseman they had.
Abreu?
He kept the team together.
I think that
those guys are just like, there's no leadership on that team.
the tough spot that the White Sox are in is like, okay, you could try to trade Anderson or Eloy, but you're selling so low on those guys, and then what are you going to do? Are you going to trade Robert because he's having a good year? You can't do that. So it's like,
no, you're not going to trade Robert. Robert's your superstar.
I think the only thing they could try to trade would be like some of the pitchers, Cease.
No, what they need to do is maybe they need to move Jake Berger, or they need to move Berger because he shows he's got a lot of fucking power, but he's never going to be anything in the field.
I don't think you're going to get anything for him. You know what I mean? That's what I mean. Like, and if you trade Eloy now,
I have a dozen.
Trade Eloy, that's like so low. And Anderson, this is like his low point. I don't know what they're going to be able to do.
I think Anderson, isn't he a free agent after this year?
I don't know.
Yeah. So I mean, they almost have to.
He should have been on the Lollygaggers.
I mean,
I have Anderson on my team again somehow. I picked him up off waivers.
Yeah, you know what? John got tired of his ass.
Who was it?
John Kimmler had him, I think, when he
Lou had him last year.
after the draft.
Who, Anderson?
Yeah.
Yeah, Anderson.
He got him I swear to God, I think he got him in the draft.
I picked up Brian Mountcastle too the other day off of waivers.
Yeah, I picked up
how was that guy at waivers? That guy's pretty good.
I poached Mountcastle.
Some people run out of space.
I know. I picked him up. He's staying on my team for the duration, I think.
He had vertigo. That's why he missed the time.
Oh, right. I forgot.
But I know that they used O'Hearn at first, and I checked the depth charts, and he was like, he's like a bench player, like a platoon player. I don't know if that's right going forward, but that's when I freaked out. I was like, okay, I can't. I'm having so much trouble with my games played anyway for position players. I can't have any platoon guys.
Did you pick him up off waivers?
Me?
Yeah. What was the price you put on it? Because somebody else.
It was a free agent.
Was he a free agent? So everybody missed that? I need to check every day.
But there was only a depth chart thing. It wasn't. I didn't think he was any good anymore or something like that. I poached him. I mean, I liked him.
Yeah.
I spent $12 on him. In the off season. I mean, the auction.
Well, that was a good pickup. I thought. Not to say anything about you, Lou, for dropping him, but
I just did it out of
a lot of upside, a lot of promise.
When I see that they're a platoon guy, I freak out. That's why I dropped Yastrzemski.
Yeah.
All my IL, I have all 10 of my IL positions filled right now. So
if I was 40,
serious?
Yeah. If I was 35 games up, like Spear or something like that, then I wouldn't worry as much. But I think I'm going to finish under at positions that aren't even catcher. It's really my outfield. My whole outfield situation is. I think I'm like 7 under at the generic outfield spots.
Really?
So.
I'm not under anywhere. I got everything is over.
That's my story.
In my cut, yeah.
No, I tried to like drop a start during this little 3-game thing, and I dropped the one that got me the most points. It was Dean Kramer got like 22 points, and no other pitcher throughout the 3-game weekend got any more than that. I mean, I don't even know if any of them got over fucking 10. But man,
is Dean Kramer?
That's the way this year is gone.
Has been on your roster all year, or is he just somebody?
I kept him for a while because he's been pitching pretty well for me.
He was on my team last year. I think I dropped him earlier this year. I think I protected him.
Oh, dude, he was passed around like a. But I mean, Um, yeah, I just got a hold of him and just kept him for a minute. I just want to see what he can do because I knew Baltimore was a kind of a hot team,
Right.
and I kind of don't like having Gibson and him. So if anybody wants Gibson, he's up for trade. But I like Dean Kramer. I think he's good.
Yeah, I stopped.
There you have it.
I guess it was a couple years ago. I stopped picking and choosing the starts. So I just, if he's on my team and he's starting, he's in. And then if I, then I just manage my overage during the year. I'll go with one less starting pitcher the rest of the year.
I
I
think
used
what
to
I
try to
need,
pick and choose, but I'm just
yeah,
not very good at it. And I know that Himmler, obviously, Satchel does that. They'll stream or even Kimmler. He's not streaming all the time, but he's like picking and choosing which starts he's going to use by guys in his team, and I don't do that anymore because I hated it. I was bad at it, and I realized it was just
it is the most disappointing in the world when you don't you choose the wrong guy.
when I
oh, what it's like
when
a
I
kick
have a
in the
bad
nuts,
start.
man.
When I have a bad start, it sucks. I mean, I hate that, but
It reverses everything you've like
yeah,
gained.
the other side of it is worse. I think is to like have a 23-point start on your bench or something like that. You're like, oh,
that's much worse. I'd rather get the.
It's like you get that negative 15, and you're just like, well, fuck, I was expecting 15 out of him, so the swing is like 30.
Yeah, but I'm saying the other way to me feels worse. If I sit a guy down, judiciously, and then he gets 25 points, and so it's just like I just hate that. And then the rest of the week, when I get the standings, I'm like, if I had that 25 points, then I would have got 5-1. So now I just let it ride. Everybody on my team plays if they're playing. So
it happens every year. It's buyer's remorse.
But I think I'm down to 7 starting pitchers now. 7 true starters.
Yeah.
So, and I think by the end of the year, it'll be down to 6.
I got some day-to-day people. I got to see if they went to the IL.
So what's the big rule change next year?
Wins are going from 7 to 5.
Okay.
And quality starts are going to count 4.
For 4. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a 6 inning pitched. 6 innings pitched. It's 4 points.
3 earned runs or less. Is that a quality?
3
start?
or less, yeah.
That's cool.
It'll help eliminate some of the all or nothing luck that we have with wins, But
yeah,
it'll still be a little all or nothing, but not quite as much as it was.
I got 5 points for my hitters today. That's fucking pathetic.
Actually, I'm going to share the hitting leaders, but I've also I set up a fake league and with the new pitching points, so you can see the difference on it. But first, I'll just look at hitters really quick, since we haven't looked at this in a while. So, all right. Oh, geez, I don't know which one it is. Hopefully, it's this one. Yeah, I got the right one. So you can see Acuna's up on top, just like he's been for the whole year. It's funny. I mean, he's way on top for us. And if we were in a rotisserie league, man, oh man, I don't even know what his value would be in a rotisserie league with the stolen bases and everything. A straight rotisserie league. But that's helping sombreros too. I mean, he's got a total stud up there. And Corbin Carroll, and Otani for Let's Play. Mookie Betts for the Cows. I'm trying to see if there's anybody else up here. And Freeman for Spear. He's also got Christian Yelich. Kind of nice to see Christian Yelich. He's finally kicking ass again. I mean, he's not like Acuna, but I mean, he was so mediocre. He was like Bellinger, right? He was similar to Bellinger and just fell off a cliff. But he's actually having a good year.
Well, that's the thing is, I fucking like. He had such a fucking like shitty fucking year, like 2 years in a row there. And I had him at like 43 or some shit, and I just like nobody's gonna take him for that. And I left him out there, and Steiger fucking snatched him. He paid the money, and you know what? It was a good move for him.
Yeah, no, it's a
Nice
great
work.
move. Look, I mean, Yelich is like top 10. He's 8. That's
Yeah,
I always like to see that. I don't think any of us are.
it's not like he's burning it up with the power hitting and shit. He's just getting a lot of extra bases and stuff, you know.
I don't even think he started off that great, right? He was like, oh, like kind of maybe like what he'd been doing. So it's really, at least since April, I don't know, I mean, after April that he's really been kicking ass. I mean, he must have been kicking ass because, he's 8 overall now. So Spears got to be overjoyed with that. But that was a great,
Yeah.
great pickup, great poach. Dad, Matt Olson for Satch, and he's also got, I think Devers is up here again now. Yep, Devers. And Daddy's have Adolis. And is that it? Yeah, it looks like it. Semyon for the Gags. Oh, Soto. There you go. Okay, I knew there was
Yeah, I got Soto.
Adolis and Soto. So Soto's back up. He's 9 now. So he
Yeah.
started slow. So he's been
Boy, Alonso didn't get hit on the hand and was out fucking a while. He'd be up here too.
Yeah, I guess it did coincide with that. I don't know. I mean,
Oh, he was up here before that when he got hit on the hand. That dropped him down big time.
yeah.
So yeah, I don't know if you scroll down and see if he's in the top 25 at all, but I think he's beating on the door.
Luis Robert for Big is here in the top 10.
Mm-hmm.
And the knockers have a couple of guys right at the bottom here, bottom of the half page here. Rosarena and Kyle Tucker. All right. So no Bazzotti's. No Bazzotti's. Well, Bazzotti's hitting's not so good anyway, but
Yeah. Next year will be our hitting year. We're gonna.
all right, let's see.
Boy, this has been a weird year. It's just been a weird
Yeah.
fucking year.
Yeah, like I said, if you're not a Mets fan, there's actually a lot of good stuff going on,
No, I'm like always enjoyed baseball if my team sucks. So.
But I mean, like, I kind of like that the teams that everybody was worried about, oh man, they're, Steve Cohen, blah, blah, blah. They're like the Padres spent all this money and
Yeah.
they're both
Hey,
going
man, that
terrible.
guy tried. He tried. You know what? You can't blame an owner for spending money to fucking try to see if they can win. It's just those guys got a hold of that money and they didn't live up to their bargain.
Yeah, well, you got to put the right people in charge, right?
Yeah.
And I think he could have been more patient as an owner too, though. He didn't have to come in and make some big splash. As a Mets fan, I know that any Mets fan was just overjoyed that he was the owner and the Wilpons were out. So he could have. I think he didn't give Mets fans enough credit. I think we could have been a little more patient, like 1 year anyway, and we'd be in a lot better position. Anyway, so you're seeing the pitchers here.
Yeah.
So Cole and Gallen are tied at top, and they both have 20 games started.
Gallen, love that guy.
So Hack's got Cole, and it looks like it's it. Daddies have Gallen, and that's it for them. Nate Eovaldi for the Gags. Stroke of good luck there. Spears got Stroman, number 4 at pitcher. So it's pretty impressive. Logan Webb for Satch, and also Strider, of course. Cows have Framber and Mitch Keller back to back here. And Clayton Kershaw. And Baked with McClanahan, which was their match priority, and that was a good one. Let's play as Gaussman and Charlie Morton. Charlie Morton, still going, right?
Man.
And I guess it gives you a pause when the Rays let you go, but he still throws that curveball, and he's doing well. I don't know how old he is. Do you? I mean, is he 36? I don't know. Is he older than that? I don't know. That's about
What's
it.
fucked up is when more than half the field you see right there I've had at one point and I don't have anymore.
Sombreros, Luis Castillo, just peeking over the top of the page. So what I did was, so let's remember Cole and Gallen at 318. I set up a fake Yahoo League with the new pitching points, so we can see how it would be, different next year. So those guys were at 318, and with the new pitching setup, this is what the points would be next year. All right. Hopefully this is the right one. I can't see these too well. Yeah. So you see Cole, instead of at 318, he'd be at 356. Still well below Acuna's, for whatever he has, 413, 430. I can't remember his total. Do you remember? But you can see Stroman be number 2 at 352, Logan Webb 342, and Gallen at 340. So top pitcher was at 318 the old way and would be at 356 the new way. So it'll help anyway. I don't know how much more we'll spend on pitching next year, but it should be more. I don't know how much more, but
yeah, the quality starts made Marcus Stroman pop up there because he had like 5 in a row.
Well, it's good, without the podcast, I bet you I wouldn't have been spurred to like look at stuff again. I was kind of stuck in my ways, like wins are worth the most that they could be, and I don't know what else to do. I wanted pitching to be worth more than it is right now, but I couldn't figure out a way to do it without getting into like, you mentioned adding strikeouts, but there's so many more strikeouts than there are wins. You know what I mean? Like, so it would be like you'd have to add like half a strikeout, and then if we added a strikeout, then we could have gone the route where we subtracted points for hits and walks, hit by pitch, and things like that. So that's still a discussion we can have. But
are you going to give a certain amount of points to a strikeout and a certain amount of points off for a walk?
Yeah. I mean, that would be the way to do it if we wanted to keep whole numbers, which I sort of do. I like that we don't have fractional points. Like, I had 384
I hate
points.
that too. I don't put that in fantasy football either.
Yeah.
It's just fractional points. You know what? You know where fractional points came from? Motherfuckers who are sore losers. That's where they came from.
All right. Hey, I gotta run. I gotta get my shit together for work tomorrow. So
yeah, we can't see anymore anyway.
Yeah,
you're just a halo.
All right. Well, I wanted to post this, Paul. I wanted to post this picture of you when I first met you in 2010 at the first auction.
Oh, wow.
Uh-oh.
That was Paul standing in front of the blue background at the Lemmings. No, I looked up Paulzadi, so that was David Byrne's first band or something, right?
Cool, yeah. He played the ukulele and his friend played the kazoo or something.
What does Paulzadi mean, though? It's just a
I don't know. It's just a nonsensical word. It's like a Dadaism.
I guess if there was 2 guys in the band, it would be like, bye.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe it's like part of it's bizarre mixed with something else. Yeah. Bizarre die.
All right,
Paulzadi.
See you soon.
All right. Take care, Paul, man. Thank you so much for coming on tonight.
Yeah, always.
Good talking to you.
You guys around.
All right. Get ready for Taste of Polonia. It's coming.
Oh, I can't wait. See ya.
We go every year together. They have that Polish food festival and, Jefferson Park. And every year I go with Paul and my friend Andrew.
Yeah, I guess Sean has been there.
It's always a good time.
Right?
Huh?
Sean said that he's been there too, huh?
Yeah, I think he has too, yeah. Wow.
Well, is there anything you wanted to go over with the injuries or anything?
No, I mean, I did not. I've been pretty busy lately, but yeah, I did not get around to that. I knew Trout got hurt, B.E.E.R got hurt.
Yeah, I just saw that B.E.E.R is not going to require surgery, so it's going to be like week to week with him.
Good. 80 got a baseball off the face. He's got a fat lip.
Who?
80.
Brett
when he
Beatty?
missed that pop up, the ball hit the ground
Oh
and it
yeah.
popped him right in the mouth. Like, ka-ching! Take that for missing that fucking
It,
ball.
it wasn't
That's
quite as
total karma. Huh?
it wasn't quite as important as situation, but it reminded me of like if Ron Santo had been calling the Mets game, he'd be going like, "Oh no!" Right when Brent Brown dropped that fly ball.
Oh my God, yeah.
They still made the playoffs that year though, so it didn't.
Yeah. It made it really, I mean, yeah.
I remember the Mets were the odd team out.
They went on a losing streak for a little bit there, I think.
I saw a Ron Santo thing on MLB Network.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's new or if it's been out for a while, but I'd never seen it before.
There's like a documentary on him.
Mm-hmm.
I think his son was the one behind that.
Yeah, it was good. It was good.
It was him waiting for that call for the Hall of Fame. Is that what it was? A lot of it.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
died before he got in.
Yeah, and then they gave it to him after he died.
That's why I like the big hall more than the small hall. There's like this debate going on, but like, why not just honor these? Who cares? I mean, like, if it's the top 2% as opposed to 1%, just like it's just fun. Just honor them. But it's not. It doesn't matter. There's no real rule to like who where the cutoff is. And Santo.
Well, they make it statistic wise. It's like, oh, you're supposed to have 500 home runs if you're like a first baseman, outfielder, third baseman. If you're a shortstop or second baseman, I mean, if you got about 350 home runs, you're good. Catchers, yeah, anywhere from 300 to 500. It's just like
Santo,
it's everything's like about home runs.
But when Santa retired, there was only
and average in hits.
Even after the early, even after Schmidt and Brett and those guys got in, I think there were still only like 10 third basemen in the Hall. Not now, but then, so when he retired, he was definitely a top 10. What did you have? Like Pie Trainer, Eddie Matthews. I mean, he belonged. Third base was the most underrepresented position in the Hall. Probably still is, but I don't know. He belonged.
You say third base?
Yeah. Third base, I knew at least 15 years ago, it was the most underrepresented position. So Santa was definitely qualified to be in. Was he the greatest third baseman of all time? No.
Here's a guy I would actually, push for. Bill Madlock. He is not in the Hall of Fame. He was a 3-time All-Star, 4-time batting title. He was in a 79 World Series one, was it the All-Star MVP. He had a 38.2 WAR for his career, 2,008 hits. Yes, he doesn't have 3,000 hits. Yes, he doesn't have 163 home runs, but he played for a fucking long time and he had a career batting average of 305. For 920 runs. Wow, only 860 RBIs. Jesus. But he had a career OBP of 365, OPS of 807. So I don't know. That's probably not Hall of Fame worthy.
But that era, if it's not adjusted, that was not the same kind of offensive era that we've had in the past 25 years.
No. Back in those days, you didn't see a whole lot of people hitting over 25 home runs.
I think the league strikeouts now is like 8 point something for 9.
Yeah.
I know back, like, let's say the 75, it was like 6 point something. So when you compare like these strikeout records from like a Tom Seaver or something like that, it's just hard to compare. It's just it's like 25% higher now. Rough math. I'm not I'm not standing by that figure, but
I wish they did like on Baseball Reference leaders by position. I haven't found it yet though. If you could just do like one position and what the whole like history of everything was.
I used to make a baseball game with the discs. Like
oh yeah, baseball. I remember that. You made me one.
I incorporated pitching into it, because the All-Star baseball was just hitting. So the pitching didn't matter. What you wanted was the pitcher that had the good hitting stats, like Frank Tanana, I think it was a good hitter. So like he was always the pitcher that was
Frank
taken.
Tanana.
Yeah, I think it was Tanana that had the good hitting stats.
There's a pitcher.
Yeah, but the pitching didn't matter. You know, it was all hitting. But anyway, so my
Could have been
game,
Ken Holtzman. Ken Holtzman was a good hitting pitcher.
I incorporated the pitching disc. But anyways, I used to do it for. I used to come up with a Hall of Fame set. So that's how I knew about the third baseman. I was like, man, there's just not a ton of third basemen to choose from. And then there's these second basemen that I don't know if they belong in the Hall, like Red Shanebeast. You know.
Oh yeah, well, wasn't he the manager of the Cardinals?
Yeah, yeah, he was the manager too. But you know, nowadays there's no way Shanebeast would get in. I mean, like they'd go like, you know,
Right.
he's a good player. I'm not trying to knock him, but you know, if you're going to say that Santo didn't belong and Shanebeast did, and I know there's different positions, but that's you know, take a look at some of those second basemen that are in the Hall, you know, that played in the '50s era. You know,
Right.
Mazeroski's in. Is Nellie Fox in?
Right now I'm trying to look up
Those
third
guys
base
are
position, but
wonderful
nothing will let
players.
nothing will let me look up the third base position on Baseball Reference. It's like, I mean, it does I can't complain about it. I can't, because this is like by far the best baseball site ever. But if you can look it up by third baseman and like what they did in their history and see what the top third basemen were, oh my God, that'd be like great access. Maybe you can. I'm not finding it.
You know, I found something interesting on MLB reference, baseball reference, a few weeks back or a couple months ago, whatever. But it was game outcome for pitchers.
Uh-huh.
There's a lot of interesting stuff in there. So like, you can see what is the average outing for a guy that got a win. What's the average outing for a guy that got a loss, for a no decision? You know, for you know, it was a interesting stuff like that. You know, like a you know, in a macro sense. That's a lot of the stats that I look at is you know, I like to look at the league wide stats and things like that. You know, I guess it would help me more if I was more into individual looking at individual players, but I do look at league wide stats a lot. I don't know.
So there's a stat head part of this thing that tells us basically, well, what are they fucking trying to tell me here? That's bullshit. Okay, it just redirected me to something. I thought it was going to give me like the team best batting streaks. And instead it gave me this fucking thing I got to work on right now, so I'm not going to do it this minute. Might be something to look at later, but it's stat head baseball. And it's if you go under stat head, the like I mean if you go to baseball reference and go all the way over to stat head, it takes you to this like search engine for finding shit out.
You know, I'm going to recommend a site to you.
I'm not in a mindset to get into it right now, but I know it's there now. And I will figure it out.
Have you heard of RetroSheet?
Oh, Retro Sheets, yeah.
Retrosheet.org is a great site. Like I even just there's a bunch of different ways that it's good. It has like a lot of league wide stats, obviously, but they have every game in there. If so, I remember vaguely going to a Mets game at Shea Stadium. We used to go to one game a year. I didn't go to a bunch of games, you know. So we'd all pack up and go to this game. And so we go to this game, Mets Phillies. I think it was 1978. And in the first inning, the Phillies score 5 runs. So it's 5-0. And I'm like so dejected because I'm like, this is my one game and we're going to see this crappy game. Well, the Mets chipped away at that lead throughout the game. And then in the bottom of the ninth, they were down 5-4 and they scored like 2 runs on a double and they won 6-5. I mean, and that was a bad team, you know, the Mets were bad then. And I was just ecstatic. It was just so great because I was so disappointed that I was going to, you know, be at a clunker my one game that year. So,
oh, dude, I had to.
But I just want to finish in RetroSheet.
Oh, sorry, I'm sorry.
In RetroSheet, you can actually, I could piece together. I thought it was 78, and it was against the Phillies. So I got the exact date of the game, and I could see the whole box score and everything. You know, that's what you can do on RetroSheets. It was like, I don't know, August 24th, 1970, whatever it was. I can't remember now, but But it's cool. And like I remember going to a doubleheader at Fenway in 1985 with this girl who wasn't a baseball fan, and I didn't tell her it was a doubleheader because I didn't think she would go if she knew it was a doubleheader. So late in the first game, she heard these guys in front of us talking. She's like, "You mean there's another game after this?" And I was like, "Well, yeah, it's a doubleheader." And she just left. And
Oh,
so,
she
so
said, "Fuck you."
so me and the guys in front of me, like we had a great time. We just bonded and watched the doubleheader. But I mean, I can find out exactly when that game was and see the box scores and stuff. That's what retro sheet. One of the things that's really good for us.
Yeah, that's funny. All right, so hey, 2023 leaders in batting here for the minute here. WAR position players, Ronald Acuna Jr. at 5.4 is leading the pack. Batting average is Luis Arias. He's been leading it pretty much all year. He's up at 380. On base percentage, same man, Luis Arias.
I saw that he went 0 for 5 over the weekend. I don't know which day it was, but
I know, lightning struck.
it's hard to hit 400 when you go 0 for 5.
Well, look at his on base percentage is 431. That's stupid. Such good control at the plate. Such good patience.
In the All-Star game, he saw 2 pitches and got 2 hits.
Man.
Right?
So good. He was the one that I was like, God damn it. It's like somebody dropped him late in the season and I grabbed him.
I think I dropped him.
And no, I think it was Larkin.
Oh, I think
It
I
could have
dropped
been
him
you,
originally anyway.
but somebody dropped him and I picked him up late in the season. I'm like, okay, well, fuck. And I knew he was just he got points. So man, you guys waited till I was out of money before you brought him out. I was out of money. I couldn't afford him. That sucked. Anyway, Shohei Ohtani, 665 slugging percentage is the best we got. OBP, that's Shohei again at 1.051. Let's see here. Runs scored, Ronald Acuna Jr., 82. Hits, a man from the Miami Marlins, Ares, 130. Doubles is Freddie Freeman, 32. Triples tied among 6 players, or actually 2 players. And it won't let me click on it, so I don't know who those are.
I wonder if
Otani's
Nemo's
got,
on
what's that?
there. I wonder if
Otani's
Nemo's
got,
on there.
well, huh?
I said, I wonder if Nemo's one of the triples leaders.
Might be.
I think he had 2 in one game.
We'll look it up afterwards, but it's just the number is 6. That's what they got to have as far as triples go. Home runs, Otani, 34. Runs batted in, I didn't believe this, but Adolis Garcia, 80. Wow. Base on balls, Juan Soto, 86. Singles,
Wow.
Aries.
That's a lot for now. I mean, we're not even 60. I think maybe we're
Yeah.
60% of the way through the season now.
86 walks. Hit by pitch, Ty France, 17 times.
Really?
Yeah.
Jesus. I didn't know that.
Caught stealing. Wander Franco, 9 times.
Yeah.
Intentional base on balls, Jose Ramirez, 12 times.
That makes sense.
Double plays grounded into Carlos Correa, 18 times.
Huh.
Oh, the Mets dodged a bullet there. Could you imagine if they had Correa on this team right
I
now?
wouldn't have guessed that. Oh, yeah.
It would have been even worse.
Well, they wouldn't have Beatty out there all the time.
Yeah, that's for sure. Let's see what else is. WAR for pitchers, Garrett Cole, 4. Earned run average is McClanahan, 2.56 or 2.53. I'm sorry. Win-loss percentage, McClanahan, 0.917.
What's his
Whip,
record?
whip is Tyler Wells, 0.927 whip.
Wow.
That's pretty sharp. His per 9 innings is Shohei 6.152.
He's got to be allowing homers, right? Wells, I mean, with a whip like that, he must be allowing homers. It's got it. That's the only thing I can think of.
Homers count against whip.
Yeah, but I mean, if he had a .9 whip, he would have an ERA like lower than McClanahan's or something.
Oh yeah, he could be getting up a few. Base on balls per 9 innings, George Kirby 0.879.
Nice.
Yeah. Strikeouts per 9, Spencer Strider at 14.313.
Holy cow.
Shit.
For a starter.
Dude is
Amazing.
just mowing him down. That's average.
Good thing Sachs doesn't have him.
Yeah, no shit.
Oh,
right?
he does. Oh.
Saves is Camilo Doval, 28.
You know, Satch got Strider by accident in the auction. He thought that he was bidding on Spencer Steer, but then he was too embarrassed to say, so I'll just take Strider. No, I don't know. He picked Strider up last year right off the scrap heap, right? He was probably just a free agent pickup.
He read something somewhere or just took a chance. But this guy's got, speaking of Spencer Strider, he's got like 176 strikeouts on the year right now. Complete games, Nathan Eovaldi has 2 of them. The person that's given up the most home runs is Lance Lynn at 24.
Wow.
The most walks, Michael Kopech, 53. Most hits given up, Patrick Corbin at 135. Strikeout to baseball or base on ball ratio, George Kirby 8.455 strikeout to base on ball. Not bad. Home runs per 9 innings pitched is Sonny Gray at .271. So Sonny has not given up a lot of dingers.
Do they have the most given up?
No. Losses, Jordan Lyle's got the most, 11. Earned runs, Lance Lynn, 73. Most wild pitches is Ohtani at 12. And the most hit by pitches of pitchers throwing is J.P. Sears from Oakland. That's a wild motherfucker, or he just wants to start a fight.
Yeah, don't dig in there. I wouldn't dig in there if I were you.
No.
Remember in Bull Durham?
Yeah.
When he told him to hit the mascot, so he hits the ball, and then the guy like looks freaked out, and he's like, I wouldn't dig in there if I were you. I don't know where the next pitch is going.
Wins above replacement is Shohei Ohtani at 6.5%.
6.5 games.
Yeah. Pretty interesting. That is where we're at.
Strider's strikeouts. I mean, he's on pace for like 275 strikeouts. I think we're 60% of the way through. Let me see.
What did you say was that triples? Oh, you said Brandon Nimmo. I'm going to look up Nimmo right now and see if he's got 6.
We're 58% of the way through the season as of Sunday. So Strider with 176, you said?
Yeah. Nimmo only has 4 triples this year.
Huh. Yeah, Strider's actually on pace if you use 58% of the season for 300 strikeouts, over 300. I mean, I'm not predicting he's going to get 300, but that's incredible. Can you imagine if you had a 300 strikeout pitcher again?
Yeah.
That's crazy. I don't know if I realized how good he was. Even now, even today,
Wasn't he a good college pitcher or something?
I didn't know anything about him. And the Braves, they just keep bringing these guys up that I've never heard of, like Elder. It must be fun to be a fan of a team that can just bring guys up from the minors and they're like Strider and Elder. because the
Oh God.
Mets don't have any of that right now.
Yeah, Elder. I mean, he's fuck. Where did he come from?
The Mets bring up like Jose Buto, whose upside is probably like a swing starter. You know, he's not. There's nothing to get excited about. Whew, man, oh
All
man.
right, I think I can find out real quick. All right. So the guys that have the most triples,
Lindor might be up there too.
no, they're both in the American League.
American League.
Yep.
I'm just trying to think of big parks.
Would you like a clue?
No, I don't know. I'm so far off from having a good guess. I can't even think. I'm just trying to think of ballparks first.
One is from a city known for its barbecue.
American League, though. Oh, so
Yes.
it's KC. Jeez, I don't know.
Who on KC do you think would have 6 triples at this point?
What?
You got it. One. Bing, ding, 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 ding.
I can't believe I got that with no hints.
Okay, number 2. West Coast.
Hmm. Oh, that Diaz guy for the A's, maybe?
South of that.
What?
South of that.
Moniac? I don't know.
Say Moniac?
Yeah,
Same team.
he's on the Angels.
That same team.
Oh man. Taylor Ward, I don't know.
The man that has the most home runs in the league, Shohei Ohtani.
Shohei.
Boy, oh boy, Kimmler is getting something out of him this year.
Yeah.
That's how much does he pay for Shohei?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask you.
He might be coming to the end of his rope with that one, and he might get expensive this year.
I want to see if I have that file. I don't think I do. Oh, I could get it through my email, but that would take a while. Oh, dollar values for auction 24. I got it.
Here, share the screen.
Yeah, it's just like an alphabetical order by first name. But
Let's go back and see some dollar numbers here real quick. And just kind of see who got some deals.
so Shohei, we'll see, for hitter and pitcher. So he's at
37.
23 as a pitcher and 37 as a hitter. Not bad, huh? 60
he's
bucks.
an X this year.
What'd you say?
That he's an X this year.
As a hitter, yeah. So he could increase him by 27 next year, or just take his chances in the auction.
Well, you know damn well he's going to increase him by 27.
And then whoever's got him as
that's
pitcher,
a bargain still.
Whoever's got him as pitcher could retain him at 23.
Yeah.
Do you know who has him as a pitcher? He doesn't have him as
I do.
Oh, you got him as the pitcher?
Yeah.
No, I didn't know that.
Yes, I do.
Nice.
Well, he's been up and down all year.
We could sort these by dollar amount instead of alphabetically. If I can see what I'm doing here. I don't know what this means. Why can't I do it by number? Because they have X's in there, you think? So I don't have any $1 guys in here. Anybody that's not on the list is a $1 guy. But, maybe it'd be better to sort it. I don't know. That's no good. Yeah, see, this is all script. It's like reads this as text, so it's not a real number in here.
Yeah.
But
Who played the most for a player this year? Was it Soto at 101?
Soto 101. And Trout
That was the
94.
highest that paid for that motherfucker.
Betts 81. Freeman 78. Ramirez 77. Vladdy 75. Trey Turner 71. Judge 69. Let me get down here. Let's see.
Well, you know what? I tell you, with Judge being at 69, I mean, is he overpriced or underpriced for the year he's had with the injuries and shit?
Depends when he comes back, I guess.
Yeah. Al Tucker had a good game the other
But
day.
all these guys are retainable next year. Anybody on there, and these guys are the ones that were retained. But you see, it's all screwy. Look at this. 81 is
Yeah.
right next to 8 because it's text.
All good.
Devers is 81.
It's giving us fucking ideas, but I mean, it's not. Yeah, who cares? Doesn't have to be perfect.
I don't
Dalton
really
Varsho how's he been doing this year?
I don't think he's having as good a year as the Blue Jays would have liked, but I don't know
Yeah.
if he's turned it on lately at all.
Well, let me go see what I can find out here. Dalton Varsho. And it's like his first name is spelled like Darren Dalton.
Yeah.
I wonder if his dad Gary Varsho played with Darren Dalton.
He did. They were Phillies.
Okay. There you go. That's why he
I
spelled
never
his name
thought
that
of that.
way.
I mean, I might have even heard that, and I completely forgot it. But I think you're right. I know that guy in the Diamondbacks, Pavin Smith or whatever, he was named after the golfer because his dad was his agent.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, I knew that. But yeah, I think you're right about Dalton Varsho. I think I heard that before. I just forgot.
All right, so Dalton Varsho this year, Toronto, 92 games played, 359 plate appearances, 326 at bats, 38 runs, 70 hits, 13 doubles, 12 home runs, 31 RBIs, 11 stolen bases, caught stealing 3, 27 walks, 82 strikeouts. So he's striking out at a 25% clip right now. Batting average is 215, on base percentage 279.
Terrible.
And you know what? To be honest with you, I mean, he hasn't really ever gotten on base in the last 4 years. I don't know what the fucking appeal is. His OPS has never been over more than 7. He's 755 is his best.
Yeah, he has
So
207.
where the fuck does the Dalton Varsho train start here?
He has
He had 27 home runs last year for Arizona. I don't know, man.
He has 217 beer league points and 359 plate appearances, and that's a .6, and that is not good.
No.
Especially for an outfielder, but it's not very good for anywhere.
Who's got Dalton Varsho, by the way?
That's
Anybody
Spear.
know? Is it who?
Gambler Spear.
Does he still qualify a catcher?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, that ain't gonna happen next year.
Yeah, he qualifies a catcher, which changes things quite a bit. But
yeah,
if he doesn't play 5 games, start 5 games at catcher, which he's only going to do if Kirk and Jansen went down at the same time, that maybe that would happen. But so he's got to root for that, right? You'd like to have Varsho, because Varsho will probably bounce back next year. I mean, you got to think maybe in the rest of this year, but as an outfielder, he's like nothing nothing to get excited about. As a catcher, he's still something to target, Maybe Dave will try to trade you Varsho, and you'll go like, but he's not going to qualify catcher next year. Oh, well, I don't know. No, Dave's not a shifty trader.
Hey, I got a Hall of Famer for you. Let me share the screen real quick. Check this out. See it?
Almost. Not yet. There we go.
Okay,
Johnny
so Johnny Evers, Johnny Ears Evers. Hey, check out the size of him. 5'9", 125 pounds.
Wow.
That's one skinny son of a bitch.
That's even
Hall
less
of,
than
Hall of
I weighed
Famer,
in high school.
Hall of Famer, 3 World Series, MVP, 47-7 WAR, had 12 home runs in his career because, god damn it, he had no muscles. But batting average 270, hits 1659. I mean, on base percentage 356.
He was a
So
good player.
OPS up to 690. But if you think about it, what makes him, because okay, he was an MVP and he had 3 World Series. But what makes him an MVP with these fucking numbers?
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, he's definitely a good player. I mean, to have an above average OPS plus at second base means he's a good player. But I don't know if he's a Hall of Famer. But that's what I mean. It was different then.
Right. Crazy.
In that poem that tinkers to Evers a chance, they talked about it even on the Ken Burns documentary. But it's
He
not
was
like
the
those.
yeah.
It's not like
He was
those
the
guys
MVP of
turn.
Boston.
It's not like those guys turn double plays at a better clip than the average, duo. So
Right.
it was just the infamy from the poem or whatever that was.
The crazy thing was he was with the Cubs since he was like from 20 till he was 31. He was with the Cubs. And he was the MVP 2 years in a row. Oh, no, he was voted for the MVP when he was 30, 31, and then he got the MVP in 32 when he went to Boston. I don't know if he was, let's see if he was traded.
Well, look at those years though. He had 2 really good years in there for a second baseman too. 1908, which is the famous year for the Cubs, and that other one before he got traded.
Okay, so traded by the Chicago Cubs to the Boston Braves for Bill Sweeney and cash. Let's see what Bill Sweeney has to
Looks like
offer.
the Cubs had good timing on that trade, at least.
So Bill Sweeney, yeah, he didn't have such the career. He had as almost many home runs, batted the same.
He's an above average
On
player
base
too, though.
percentage, good.
You can see he's an above average player too, though. At second
I
base,
just don't think he played as long.
yeah. But it looks like the timing of trading Evers was right, because it was right before he never had as good a year as he did after he got traded.
Yeah, it's funny as though he was with Chicago, went to Boston. He was with Boston, then he went back to Chicago, and he never played again after that year. He got traded for it.
Evers might have been the guy that had a real sour personality, right? They talked about that in the documentary.
Really?
I think he spent like a season or two, and he didn't talk to Joe Tinker or whatever, So, like, imagine being on a team.
My guess is they were fucking with him about his ears.
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't like anybody. They kept telling him he was a taxi cab with the doors open.
Yeah, that's what the legend was. Like he had a disagreement over cab fare or something like that, and he didn't talk to him for like 2 seasons or something. Imagine going, 154 games, you don't even talk to this guy. You're turning double plays with him, and you're not speaking. It's just
Terrible. Oh, I get to go to the game tomorrow night. I have to host the booth. suite.
You're at Wrigley?
Yeah, so I'm going to be at the
Oh,
Washington Cubs game.
nice. I guess I
Little
should have
perk of
known
the
you were at,
job of having to work for a beer company, huh?
I should have known you were at Wrigley because the White Sox are at Citi Fields tomorrow night through Thursday. They're playing the Mets. Going Thursday.
It should be interesting. Both games should be interesting, to be honest with you. Only though, I think Hunter Harvey is going to be going to the IL. That's one thing I had to look
Yeah,
at.
I did see that.
And that doesn't do me any favors. Even though every time I keep Justin Lawrence out of the lineup, he gets points, and whenever I put him in, he does not.
He's a good pitcher. I mean, he'll Finnegan stands no chance to keep that closer job over a healthy Harvey.
Yeah, Harvey's on the IL, so I got him out of there. Who else is on the IL that I need here? Yeah, it was a data. Oh, and Carson us. Oh my God.
What?
Reds just brought up Christian Encarnacion Strand.
Wow.
Looks like I gotta drop some at it.
So the Reds really need. It's not for this year. I mean, they got to get some pitching.
They're bringing the boys up, man.
Because man,
they've got guys that are coming to fruition.
I told you, Noel B. Marte and even this Cam Collier would be top prospects in any team. Where are they going to put all these guys? They've got to make a trade for a pitcher, right? Trade Noel B. Marte and somebody for something like that.
Yeah.
The only reason that the Reds won't win the Central going forward will be from their pitching. If Green and Lodolo can't stay healthy and Ashcraft, he's pitched terrible. And it depends how good you think that Anderson guy is. I'm not a believer yet on him.
Yeah.
But man,
hey,
if you're the Reds and you're gonna extend these guys, don't extend those pitchers. Jesus Christ, they've got like a 50-50 shot of not panning out because they'll be hurt. But these hitters, take that Green money and put it in, with Ellie De La Cruz or something, like that would be a safer bet. Jeez. And just figure the pitching out as you go. You sign every year. You can sign like a Michael Wacha or whoever. You can fill the rotation like that.
You got Yandy Diaz that came off the NA.
Yeah, I didn't put him in today. I looked at the pitch. He was facing Dunning, who has an ERA below 3. I didn't know that. Did you know that? Dane Dunning.
No.
And the Pirates are Josh Bell, who I'm going to drop, is facing a rookie. He just got called up for the Pirates. So I thought, I'll just wait a day. I'll leave Bell in for today. And then I go and see, I don't know if they're playing, but it was in a delay. And I was like, oh, great. So I make a smart decision, a little research, and it might be all for naught anyway, because maybe that game's going to get rained out. I don't know. But so I did look at stuff, because remember I told you a few weeks ago I put in Sandoval, and I didn't notice that he was pitching in Colorado. So I decided to pay a little more attention to detail this time, and I might get burned for it. So.
Oh, you got some NA guys I wouldn't mind having.
I told you a few podcasts ago that I just I try to trade my NA guys, especially in the off season. But I don't think I'm going to do that anymore. I mean, I think I'm going to hold on to them. So if I had Ellie De La Cruz this year, I could have tried to trade him right when he came off, and I could have gotten something for him. Or even worst case scenario, I drop him, and then within days, people are going to go through their fab budget trying to get him, right? So I think it might be smarter for me just to hold on to the guys that I have. And then if worst case scenario, I just drop them, at least people will burn through their fab budget with it to get them,
I don't know. You like Pete Alonso?
Because, I had Francisco Alvarez.
This is your moment of weakness right here. Throwing you a Mets superstar.
Last year, I don't, I don't even like Alonso. I just personally, I don't know.
No?
I'm weird. I don't know why I don't like him. I just don't like him.
What are you, a Brett Beatty fan?
Not especially.
No, I don't think you really like many players on that team at this moment, except for Brandon Nimmo.
I love Nemo.
They should have kept Conforto.
I like McNeil, but he's having a really rough time.
What about JD Davis?
I
Do you
liked
feel
I liked
salty
I
about
liked
that one?
JD. I liked JD, but I think that they thought that he had a hole in his swing. He couldn't handle high heat, and I think that's why they just gave up on him. But he would last year he put up bad numbers for the Mets, but if you looked at his the Statcast kind of numbers, they were still
Yeah.
good. So I think he was just getting screwed. But yeah, so I like JD. I like Conforto. I like a lot of the Mets that are on the Giants. So.
Oh, I don't know. I've got decisions to make over the next week and see who I'm going to throw out there in the fucking waiver, or not the waivers, but the trade. Yeah, throw out there on the trade line.
Yeah, I'm starting to look at it. I haven't looked at it, but I mean, I'm anticipating looking at it. Maybe making some trades for next year.
Oh, you picked up Jake Cronenworth after I dropped him.
Yeah, that was another depth chart thing. Cronenworth was listed as a platoon guy, and I said I just dropped him. But then like right after I dropped him, he's like, no, he's a starter. So I'm a little dependent on that depth chart thing because I don't figure him out for myself.
Frank's over here licking on me.
Aw. Hey, Frank. What's up, man? Hey. Good boy.
Him? It's Lou. You remember Lou?
Hey, buddy. Handsome boy.
Oh shit. Well, what do you think? Should we call it a day?
Yeah.
I think we should.
Paul always gives us a nice, crisp length podcast. So,
He does. You know what? He keeps us in check. Because I mean, sometimes we just go off and fucking. Ooh.
we would be on for another hour and 45 minutes with some other folks, right?
Yeah. Well, no, it's like like I mean, we had like what a pretty long one with Phil, pretty long one with Sean.
Yeah.
That was
Sean.
a good time. Yeah, Chad. Larkin usually cuts us off about an hour and a half.
I anticipated that the more times people did it, it would get shorter. Plus, I think as the year goes on, you know how it is. You're really excited about the beer league in March, April, May,
Yeah.
and then starts to reality sets in June, July. So.
Yeah, right now is the reckoning. I got to figure out what's going on. Probably a major seller.
Well, I think
We'll
I'm going
see
to
who's listening. Then we'll actually see who's listening to what we're doing here. Because then I'll like see if I get any trade offers. If I get no trade offers, that means nobody's paying attention to what we're doing.
I guess I should try to make some trade. I've been lazy about trade offers this year. I made one trade in like the first.
I can smell a
week.
stupid trade offer though. I mean, most of us we all can. Sometimes you really want one really thing, and we give up a little bit more, too much to get it, but you wanted that thing.
Yeah, well, I get offers that just you shouldn't offer me your NA players or something, because obviously I think I care about that less than almost anybody. So
What if you're swapping NA players?
yeah, I would look into that. I'm scared of guys that are going to get called up this year. Like I said, I'm not going to play them, so I would have to trade them with urgency.
So what you need to do is you need to go after the guys that are like a year behind the ones that like.
Yeah,
I mean,
well, I do. I sort them by the different ratings, but I also do it by estimated time of arrival, whatever. And if any of the sources said that he was going to get called up this year, I don't touch him because I don't want to lose him for nothing. I figure in the off season I've got 5 months I can trade him. But when he gets called up on May 20th, I'm like, geez, it's like what am I going to do? I can't make any moves until I move this guy off my team. So.
Well, yeah, I completely agree.
So I traded Ellie De La Cruz in March to Chris for I think Marcelo Meyer, who's the shortstop prospect for the Red Sox. Because I knew
he passed him along to Bake McBride to get the Kyle Tucker trade.
Yeah.
And now Bake McBride is reaping the benefits of that one.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm rethinking.
Not a bad move by Dougie.
I'm rethinking the way I was doing things. Maybe I'd just be better off having to trade him with that urgency, or even worst case scenario, I drop him and somebody spends $40 on their fab budget to get him or something.
That's what the NA thing is for a lot. I mean, yeah, you can sit there and sit on somebody for a while. Yeah, fine. But that's like the thing that's going to set the trade. The guy that you really want, that's the thing that's going to be like the cherry on top when you give somebody a good NA guy along in the ride, so
yeah,
I don't know.
That's what I thought in theory anyway, but lately I've just been losing them for nothing, so.
Yeah. I would just keep track of what the fuck is going on in the minor league system. Drafts, take a look at the draft, keep track of like who's going to be in the first, second, third round,
I traded one or two other NA guys right before the auction that were similar, highly touted guys, but I don't think anybody's been called up. I know De La Cruz, obviously, but I don't think I had any other ones. But yeah.
What do you think of the draft this year? I mean, were you happy with what the Mets picked? I mean, what did they pick?
I don't know.
I know the Cubs got like this guy named Owen. Owen? God damn it!
This was a more stacked draft than most years because there was a lot of players that would have been drafted right when COVID hit, and they just stayed in school as opposed to because it was such a short draft.
Yeah.
That a lot of these guys that would have maybe been drafted out of high school went to school. So it was a deep draft, I guess, especially for position players. And now I'm just, spouting things that I heard. I mean, I don't know enough to tell the difference between a good and a bad prospect. But anyway, so that's what I heard anyway.
Let's see. I'm trying to remember this guy's name. First round draft pick.
I guess what makes sense to me in drafting is like to take college players early and then take flyers on high school guys later. So the teams that take high school guys, like I think the Royals, I don't know if I have the right team, but they took a high school catcher in the first round early on. And that doesn't make any sense to me. So we'll see if it turns. I should get his name and then follow and see if it turned out. But that to me doesn't make sense. The first round you should be safe. You should have they should be good players, but it should what I mean. It's like it should be a lower risk player in the first round, and then if you want to take flyers and high school guys, do that later in the draft. But the Royals took a first round high school catcher, and that one doesn't seem to make any sense. But we'll see. They know a lot more than I do about prospects, so I know nothing. I can't make sense of it. You can't even I tried to look at minor league stats, like the major league equivalencies. You ever see those, the MLEs?
Yeah.
But that's not how you want to take minor leaguers, like based on what they did in the minors. Like, it's projection, right? It's all based on what they're going to do. Not how well they're doing in the low levels, So that's where I have a real tough time. I just can't make sense of it. I don't even use minor league equivalencies, major league equivalencies in my uh, beer league stuff because the more I studied it, it was like there's no correlation. Like some years there was a real small correlation, so I used a tiny bit of it, but I think for the past 4 years I haven't used any of it.
Yeah.
So you're better off. I don't know. I can't figure it out. That's why I stay out of the whole thing. I just go down the list. You know, that mindless way of getting your anti guys. That's what I do. You know, but I do put it in a spreadsheet where I can sort, but I'm not making any calls myself. I don't know.
Well, what the Cubs picked this year, Matt Shaw, that was the number one pick. He was the guy. They compare him to like a Matt McLean type of guy. Josh Rivera is a power hitting shortstop from Florida. He's probably going to end up being a third baseman. Probably make him into a third baseman. He's got more power from that side. Matt Shaw is probably going to be a second baseman, and Nico Horner is probably going to still stay at shortstop. These guys are all in college, and they're coming out of college, so it's not like they're already doing their double A. Now it's like, okay, now these guys probably are like triple A, starting double A next season, hit triple A, and then maybe they'd be at the fucking majors by the end of the fall, depending on how they're doing and if there's no injury. Their fourth pick was Will Sanders, right-handed pitcher out of South Carolina. So they got a right-handed pitcher that's graduated from South Carolina. Michael Carrico is a catcher from Davidson. So, like, I think they drafted like out of 25 picks, there was like 23 that were like, I don't know the fucking exact numbers, but most of what they drafted were out of college. There wasn't a lot of high school guys.
Yeah, I think that's smarter. I think generally I think the general wisdom is like you take college hitters and high school pitchers.
You're also getting more mature people. I mean, it's like if you take somebody out of high school as opposed to somebody who's like coming out of college. I mean, that person that's coming out of college is a little bit more mature than the kid that's coming out of high school.
But it depends, like what part of the draft you're talking about, right? So the first round, I'm sure that there have been successful picks like this, but I think in general you don't want to take high school guys in the first round. That's like that's your flyers.
Not unless that kid is like Bryce Harper or somebody like that. Give me 1 second. I gotta get a paper towel. That's my fucking pop overflowed over here.
Well, I guess I should talk about. No, I have nothing to talk about. So. I didn't know what to do when you were gone. I was like, I can't really talk about anything.
You've been like, hello, my baby, hello, my darling, hello, my ragtime.
Hello, my ragtime doll. Do you remember that? Was it the Bugs Bunny cartoon?
Yeah, that was the frog that took the hat off.
He wouldn't sing in front of anybody else.
Oh God. You know what was awesome when we were kids is that there were Saturday cartoons. And there was cartoons a lot. There was a lot of cartoons on, You get up before you go to school, you can get some Bugs Bunny and some Ray Rayner and whatever.
That Saturday morning, that was an event, man.
Saturday morning, it was like there was like 2 stations with cartoons on it. You'd have some on WGN doing the Bugs Bunny stuff, and
an hour and a half of
32 was doing stuff, and Channel 44 back in the day up here was doing stuff.
And you ended with like HR Puffin stuff and those kind of things.
Channel 44 was one that like they would do like Dudley Do Right, and the Harlem Globetrotters, and they'd do the Beatles cartoon, all the weird ones. Where like the main stations did like the Bugs Bunny and Scooby Doo and shit.
Scooby.
But no, all these. I think Bugs Bunny was on Channel 2 maybe. But no, I mean it was like from like 7 o'clock or 6 o'clock in the morning till like 11 o'clock in the morning. There was like 3 stations just doing cartoons, and you can fucking pick and choose what the fuck you wanted to do.
All the kids in front of the TV and the parents upstairs doing whatever they were
Oh yeah, it's just like they fucking watch the cartoons. I'm doing the laundry, you know. It's like leave me the fuck alone.
doing. Well, Jeff, we'll see who we're going to have on next week. It's still up in the air, but
Are we still in order of what we were doing before?
no, it's not exact order. But
I mean, who did we have before Paul the last time? Was it Sean?
as far as people that haven't done it twice yet, besides Norm and Dave Steiger, who are not going to do it, we have
Doug?
Doug, Chad, and John Kimmler.
So Chad hasn't gone twice, Doug hasn't gone twice, and Kimmler hasn't gone twice.
Right.
Oh, that's 3 good ones in a row there.
That'll take us through August.
They're all good.
7th or something like that.
Yeah.
And then we'll probably double up.
Yeah. Why don't we
weeks.
double up and try to get like maybe a couple people on at the same time?
Yeah.
And just have like
The rest of
Hollywood
August,
Squares.
the rest of August, we'll try to double up. Maybe even have 3 on at once. And then I think we're going to pause after, right before Labor Day. And then September, Monday Night Football is going to happen. So I think we'll probably wait till after the season to do a final wrap up. So normal podcast will be finished August 7th, and then we'll do 3 more with multiple people. And then we'll take a little break till after the season.
And I think the final recap would be great with everybody there.
Yeah,
you know?
Anybody who wants to.
So we're all filled out. I know depending on what the times are and how it works out, I hope Norm and Dave can make it. But
yeah, it doesn't have to be Monday night. That the big group one doesn't have to be Monday night. It could be the time that what would work for everybody. I think middle of the afternoon would work for Steiger. It wouldn't be too late for him, and it wouldn't be too early for Norm. Something like that.
yeah, it might have to be like on a Saturday.
Yeah.
Sunday.
As long as we don't have any big college football fans.
So, all right. Well, cool.
All right, Jeff. Well, good luck staying out of the basement.
Oh my God, it's just so. I don't know what the fuck. I mean,
Except
it is what it is.
Except for the fact that Phil is so far out in front, there's actually it's pretty tight groupings in there.
I look at my team. I'm like, how the fuck is this happening? Fuck it. Who cares?
But who's going to finish last? It's gonna be a tight race down there too.
Crazy. It's just been a rough year. It's just weird. It's a weird year. I don't know. I've never had a pitching year like this where it's like, okay, you throw 4 guys out there and 2 of them get exactly what what the other 2 got, but minus, and you just get like canceled out. There's so much canceled out pitching right now. It's ridiculous.
If you get normal BABIP luck from your hitters, then that would be like an extra win going, down the stretch. I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but it's something, And I think that last place is going to come down to a game. I don't think somebody's going to finish last by a bunch. I think it's going to be, going to the last week.
Oh no, me. It's going to be Chris, me, and Chad fighting to stay out of the basement.
And even up where I am, me, Kimmler, Sombreros, even Sombreros are charging. So who knows where they'll finish? They could. Finish
I know.
Second. They could finish second. So.
And they got a lot of good young talent on that team too.
And I play it real modest, but I know I'm going to catch Satch. I am going to win this. I'm just kidding.
Well, I thank you. That was a fun 2 hours.
All right. Well, we'll see you next Monday.
I must take dog to pee and smoke cigarettes.
That sounds good.
Hey, yeah, give me a buzz. We'll talk and see who we can get for the next one, and yeah, all that good shit.
All right. All right, Jeff. We'll see you
All
in
right,
a
man.
week. See you in a week. Good luck. All
See ya. I'll talk to you later.
right. Bye bye.